Why does bisexuality get conflated with pansexuality?
It did kind of steal pansexuality's original gig.
With being bi, there is so much of like the binary. I want to have a full bushy mustache. I want
full
full
bush.
I want full bush. Who doesn't want full bush?
Yeah.
There's queer fuckery happening here. I could date a gay man, because I'm pan.
That's just incorrect.
I'm attracted to your spirit, your energy, your soul.
I'd need a man right now.
Is he a straight man?
Yeah.
This is where it gets interesting and a little slutty. Pansexuality meant I'm into everything.
Can somebody be into everything?
I know a few people who
I
are.
think they were feeling probably really traumatized and they just needed a lot to come.
You're not a part of it, and that's why you're mad.
You're gay, but you're not queer.
Your experience is not the most important experience in this space.
I just want to be cherished. What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to the Queer Collective podcast. I'm your host, Carbon.
I'm Emily.
I'm Leo.
And I'm Tati.
And welcome to the show. And this episode is sponsored by Vizzy Hard Seltzer, but more on that later.
Today we are diving headfirst into pansexuality, its wild history, the bi versus pan debate, and the real pan experience with our amazing guests. So let's get into it.
And our two pansexual icons today are Tati and Leo. Tati, who is a Black queer who works and studies in 2S LGBTQ plus community health. They, she pronouns. And Leo, who's a trans non-binary artist, activist, performer, and boundary pusher in the queer nightlife scene. They, them pronouns. Welcome to the show.
What do we all think the difference between bisexuality and pansexuality is?
I think for me, pansexuality is really expansive, and the fact that I don't feel my attraction is grounded or rooted in someone's gender identity. And it also gives me space to change my own gender identity within that as well.
Yeah, same thing. I think so much of my gender identity and journey is tied also into who I also am attracted to. I don't think I see necessarily anyone's gender, or I'm attracted to one gender maybe more than one other. I think it just gives me kind of the freedom to just fall in love with the person and the spirit of the essence of the person.
Are you two at all attracted to femininity or masculinity, or you're just it doesn't matter at all?
I kind of like when it's a little gender fucked. I kind of have the feeling that I like when it's a little bit of a soup mix, and there can be more one heavy influence than the other. Has it been do I like my femme's femme or my mask's mask? I don't think I've necessarily leaned onto that. I like expressing myself a little bit more masculine, but I like also being a little bit more fruity. I like people to know that I'm trans. Do you know what I mean? So I also kind of like when someone else is also playing with that as well with themselves, even if it's not a drop rather than a whole pouring of a bottle of gender.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Pouring of a bottle of gender.
A whole glass.
The gender that was another
delicious.
great
Glass
one.
half full of gender.
Glass half full, yeah.
I do typically like a blend, but I love my mask. I do love my mask.
Yeah, give it up for masks and femme. Doing it.
So you're not interested in someone's gender expression. Someone's gender expression still turns you on, but their actual gender doesn't matter to you.
Their actual gender does not matter to me, no.
Yeah.
No. Yeah.
Okay. Vibes. So some people were saying some different things on the internet. Some people were saying that it's I am not attracted to masculinity or femininity. I'm only attracted to
Androgynous.
some features. No. Just your features. I'm attracted to, say, petite people, and that could be in men or women, masculine, feminine. I like petite people as an example.
I do
but I
someone
don't know if
thick.
that's
If we're going there, I do love them thick, dark skin. Hit me up, logs for sure. But gender identity not attached.
People who are pan have preferences, but it's not this overarching thing of comparatively to maybe the way a straight woman would view I need this type of man or this type of presence to be available in the man that I choose. I think with pan people we're kind of a little bit more deeper than that, and then if they come in, it's everybody loves mouthfeel. You know what I mean?
no.
Everybody loves
What?
What do you mean?
The gooey core center is what you're getting to, and so however you get there, it could be a lollipop, it could be a croissant with chocolate on the inside. Do you know what I mean? But once you get there, you're enjoying it.
Vibes.
Okay, so how do you think that differentiates from bisexuality?
I do have a couple of friends who I am bi. That is what sits really right with me. And I have noticed with them, and I think it's okay. Like everyone's different.
It's okay that you're
It's a safe space for you, bisexual.
It's okay, yeah,
We're the pan people.
In my experience, they tend to have an attraction that is rooted in the gender norms of what they're attracted to. They love their men who are tall and really masculine, and they love really feminine women with long hair, things like that. My attraction feels really different to that because it's not that like if you are of this gender identity, I'm attracted to you when you fall into a certain thing. There are just things in general overarching that I'm attracted to, and there is no difference between folks, no matter what your gender identity is.
Yeah. I identify as bisexual. I will say, researching this topic, I had an identity crisis, and we'll see how I feel at the end of the episode. However,
the confusion continues.
Like, I feel bisexual. I'm also non-binary, and I'm also like really attracted to gender fucky people. You know what I mean? Like, I like a really mask woman, and I like also like a femininity in a man, and I like an androgynous person. Like, I like anything really. Like, it does depend on your vibe. However, like I don't know, like I just feel like I'm attracted to all genders.
So why
Sounds a little pan.
Yeah.
Pan's getting a little hot.
This is where the confusion came in. So the thing is like bi originally meant to back in the day, but it has like now expanded to mean attraction to multiple genders. So like it means you could be attracted to all people, but it did kind of steal pansexuality's original gig. And like we'll get into that in the history, but pansexual, because bisexuality like expanded bigger like that, pansexuality is now like attracted to people regardless of gender.
Yeah,
I
I think language is really important too. I
Yeah.
think sometimes we amalgamate so many things like into one category or one overarching thing because it makes it also easier for people to approach. When you say queer, it kind of lets people know, okay, there's queer fuckery happening here. They're not just gay, or they're not just a lesbian, or whatever it is, right? Which is, and it's totally fine either or. But I just feel like with being bi, there is so much of like the binary. And for so many non-binary people or trans people who kind of maybe weren't able to fit passing these codes of being super mask or being super femme, being the butch, being the, the stud. Yeah. There's so many things that come also with then I think, being pan is kind of more open to queer, like,
it feels like queer.
Yeah, it feels more queer rather than just saying queer. And it also kind of, for me, I feel like it also puts aside how people identify. Like, people could be, I could date a gay man, because I'm pan.
Yeah,
and it would still, absolutely, yes.
As long as the gay man wants to date you.
Is the gay man still gay?
Well, are they gay then?
Yeah.
Well, that's also a really big conversation. Yeah, I feel like anytime you kind of are dating someone who is more pan or queer, there's also omnisexual. There's so many different wonderful words and ways that people identify that I feel like when you enter that realm romantically or even in close friendship, you start to kind of decode and de-break down maybe some things that you just kind of passively were accepting, that maybe those things where you could be more curious about or explore or whatever. So I'm excited to hear that you're
questioning things.
We got another one.
I'm unsure. I think it's like more people, like bisexuality just feels more popular, and I feel like more people are rallying behind it.
And with so
like,
much bi-phobia
I
too.
meet a lot
It's proud. It's better. Feels better to say bi too. I like.
Do you
I
think?
do. Well,
Really?
I do occupy bi spaces, and I've come to like such great parties that y'all have thrown, and other people in the city, that those are spaces where I also feel way more comfortable than say going to a strictly gay cis male bar or even just purely lesbian spaces as well. Like that also comes with
Fair.
history of different complications in relationships, especially if you're trans, or especially if you're someone who's not able-bodied or person of color, or there's so many different things that come into play that I feel like bi has this really nice intersectionality where we're all like, hey, like, we all come from so many different walks of life. You have people who are more straight-leaning, or people who've opened their relationships and have come out later in life, people who, have been bi or queer their entire life, and now we get to kind of all mix and blend with each other. So when it comes down to the nitty gritty, we're like, well, actually, I'm actually pan. It's like, I don't feel like I need to do that with bi people, whereas with maybe
walk into a bisexual party, you're like, well, actually,
Whereas like with gay people, I'm like, I like to let you know that I am pan. Like you're gonna learn today some new terminology.
This podcast is proudly sponsored by Vizzy Hard Seltzer.
Over the last 5 years, Vizzy has supported our mission to authentically and positively represent the entire LGBTQ2S+ community.
And with Vizzy's vibrant flavors, you can follow your own vibe. Be bold, be flavorful, and above all else, be yourself. Plus, Vizzy only has 100 calories and 1 gram of sugar per can.
Cheers! Must be of legal drinking age, and please enjoy responsibly.
And now, back to the episode.
People are saying that bisexual is like the umbrella that pan lives under.
Pan should be the umbrella.
I think so too.
Pan should be the umbrella.
Yeah.
Why do you think?
Because we're cool.
Literally feels like the more expansive identity that like so much can fall under that. Like I think it's okay if you have a preference. Like it's okay if you have a gender preference and you are someone who experiences like multi-attraction. But it feels like bi and omni are things that fall under pansexuality. If pansexuality is I'm attracted to multiple gender identities and expressions without a preference, then the other ones fall under that, and that, oh, well, my specific experience with multi-attraction is these things.
Maybe we need a whole different term. No.
More terms. LGBTQ ABC. Yeah.
Like I do think though the bi and the pan community are very closely related though. Like I think it's like the same people fighting for the same struggles. I feel pan, especially after learning about its history, feels more political to me. It feels more trans non-binary to me. Even though bisexuality it is expansive. Like it does include that. But for some people like yourselves, I think it matters more to you to identify as pansexual. And I'm just like, I don't know if it matters that much to me. Like I feel like queer matters to me. I don't know. I don't know if I need another label. I'm just unsure. I'm getting comfortable in bisexual. I was a lesbian for a while. I'm like, I don't know if I need a new change. I don't know.
Well, you know,
I'm a Taurus. I don't really like change. I'm not really comfortable here.
That's a really interesting thing, though, because it's like my partner for the longest time identified as a lesbian. She had tried dating a man, and that just didn't work out. And then she just was only with women for the longest time. And then upon dating me, it kind of awakened so many things of like, well, if I'm honoring you as an individual, if you identify as trans and non-binary, and you're more mass-leaning. She has this very great way of like, are you feeling blue or pink today? Like, what is your gender color? What is the flavor today, right? Yeah. She kind of said, you know, like, I feel like I identify more pan or maybe more bi. And I said, you don't have to. Like, we had a conversation of if she should or shouldn't. I said, you can stay a lesbian. That is totally fine. There are plenty of, like, trans masky him lesbians, and for you being a lesbian dating me, that also feels like that can be a fine situation.
The lesbians will be mad. Oh, lost another one.
That's another conversation. But for her, she goes, no, this was an important awakening, and just adds to my flavor, and it doesn't negate any of that stuff. It just means like I like this extra.
It feels more expansive.
Yeah, you know, and I feel like that is really the thing is when comparing bi and trans, or sorry, bi and pan, is that pan feels more expansive the same way that non-binary and trans. I would feel that non-binary is under the umbrella of trans rather than vice versa.
It is, yeah.
You know?
But the thing is also like, I don't necessarily feel trans, but I feel non-binary. And that's where it gets a little confusing too, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I resonate with that
I'm like, I don't feel like I can claim the trans identity in the way where it's like, that is a very big struggle that a lot of people face. And I don't feel like I face that on the day-to-day with my gender presentation.
But also,
like, I just don't
I think
feel
like two things can be true at once. Like you can definitely acknowledge that, like, I'm not going through a visible transition. Like that isn't my experience. But you do still feel like you have a unique gender identity that is fluid and fluctuates.
And you think that's still like valid and trans?
That is still valid. I think like whether you decide to identify as trans is up to you. But like non-binary falls under that umbrella.
Yeah, you're not cisgender.
And previously, before starting my medical transition, taking testosterone, I still identified as trans. I still identified as non-binary, and I still wanted people to treat me as such. You don't have to medically transition. You don't have to take testosterone or estrogen to identify as such or play with your gender. If there are certain things that you're like, I want to have a full bushy mustache. I want full bush. I want full bush. Who doesn't want full bush?
Yeah.
But if there are certain things like those are obtainable while still playing within the gender field that you want to stay in, right?
Yes.
Even if you're like, I'm a woman, but like, I want that mustache. Like, that's up to each person, right?
Well, see, this is why when we had the conversation of like trans and non-binary lesbians, that episode.
Yeah.
And we were like, okay, lesbian can be more expansive, but then people get mad at the expansiveness of that. I don't know. Now I'm like, what is a lesbian even? You know? Like, is it just being attracted to like certain genitals? Or is it like the gender presentation? Is it a combination of both?
That's
is it
the
like
question I have for folks who are not multi-attracted. Like, what are you attracted to?
Everybody
like,
loves a mouthfeel.
the mouth?
I don't know if that's hitting the way you think it's
Listen, ContraPoints fans, I know you're out there and I know you hear me and I see you, even though I don't see you, but you see me. And that's all that's important.
But you see me and that's all that matters.
And the mouthfeel.
I identify as a lesbian and identify as a woman, and I do both because as a woman, even though like a lot of the times I give androgynous, non-binary, etc., and sometimes I feel like I'm a man sometimes, but I still identify as a woman because I like the idea of expanding the word woman. This is what I look like. I still identify with womanhood.
Yes.
And being perceived as such. So therefore, I identify as a woman, but this is what it looks like for me. But then identifying as a lesbian, I have my preferences, but I don't think that it's like exclusive to what I like. But
That's an individual preference.
it's an individual thing, but I think people make it exclusive to what they like. So for me, I like the same genitals as me, and I like a more femme presentation personally. But it doesn't mean that that's what a lesbian is
Or
either.
what a lesbian has to like.
Yeah.
Not at all.
So I think that you could like a trans lesbian, and that's lesbian. And then possibly, I don't know, depending on like how your partner would feel about this, but perhaps like a trans man and you could still be a lesbian, perhaps.
Absolutely.
I don't know. Like for me, it's like...
Yeah, people are really stuck in that like my experience and understanding of this identity can be the only true one. And yeah, that's just incorrect. I identify as a Black woman, but I identify as agender or genderqueer. Because I identify strongly with the experience of Black womanhood, but also because when I go out into the world, I'm perceived as a Black woman. 100%. So my personal understanding of my gender identity is very expansive, and I honestly don't see myself on the gender spectrum at all. But I understand that like when I walk into certain spaces, I'm being treated as a Black woman. Right. So I do still identify strongly with that.
I think the problem is a lot of these labels were made when non-binary didn't exist, you know? And that's where like pansexuality and its history came in really like at the forefront of the creation of non-binary. And that's why it feels so expansive. But for a lot of these other ones, like bisexuality, lesbianism, all of these things, it's like they existed before we had the terms. You know what I'm saying? So it's like there was a lot of gender fuckery going on in lesbianism before
So much
non-binary
gender fuckery.
existed.
Oh my! And the labels they had were very out of pocket.
Like there was a lot of trans. There was definitely a lot of like early examples of probably trans men and like people who would be non-binary today. But it's like
looking into cultures like butch and stud cultures,
Yeah.
especially, is it incredibly eye-opening. I think all queer people should really be looking into lesbian history a lot more, and queer history, because these intersectionalities of gender play and trans people really do permeate more within the trans community, within the lesbian community, more than I think sometimes we give credit to or we even see. I think sometimes there's this idea that maybe that lesbians don't want to date trans people or aren't comfortable with people who are gender diverse. And that's in itself is its own conversation. And I think is a societal thing. I think it's also based on race. I think that sometimes white people have a lot more hangups with ideas. It's not just, not centering men. I think there's also centering other ideals, and like what you're talking about with that womanhood can look this way as well, and you can still be a woman, is that core thing of like breaking that down and accepting that lesbianism doesn't look like a white, skinny, blonde, long-haired, a traditional woman, that it looks like so many different things. It looks like a trans woman, it looks like an agender person of color also occupying these spaces and being like, we all kind of vibe on the same thing.
People are having trouble with evolving with the times, and it's like, that's cool if that's your definition. You can go and live that.
And there's a lot of protection for the history too. It's not an erasure.
It's like
You're not
read
going
a
anywhere,
book
lesbians.
and
We
you'll realize
love
the
you.
history is actually
It's
a
very
lot
gender
more
expansive. Check out our episode on Butch Femme and you'll learn about it. But on to our next question, I'm wondering, we're circling back to pansexuality. What does it actually mean to be attracted to someone regardless of their gender? Because this is the part that really confuses me, and this is where I feel...
This is the identity crisis.
This is the identity crisis where it's like I was really sitting with it. I was sitting, Google. I was like, what's going on?
Just me and my machine.
I'm like, I am attracted to someone's gender. You know what I'm saying? But I'm attracted to all genders. But it's like your gender plays a role, I think. But I'm also like, I'm attracted to your spirit, your energy, your soul. But like, I don't fucking know.
I'm attracted to your higher power, but also how you express that.
How you live, love, your third eye.
Yeah, but what does it mean to y'all to be attracted to someone regardless
I've
of their gender?
like definitely had the instance of like I'm in a grocery store, I'm sitting behind someone in the line, and it's like I'm like, oh, okay, this is cute. You know, we've got a brown skin, they've got locks, you know, wide hips. I'm here for it. And then they turn around and thick. And they turn around and they might not be the gender I was initially expecting, but it's like I don't feel any disappointment towards that. I'm like, okay, great. Now I see your face. Now I get your number. So it's like there isn't, like I'm not strongly attached to what your gender is. I think like I have like cultural preferences. Like I prefer to date someone who's queer, or like queer aligned. But yeah, I'm never like, I'd like need a man right now. Like, I mean, whoever is like that actually.
I think straight women, unfortunately.
I need a man to hang something up. I need a man to deliver my Uber Eats.
I do need a man to like move my shit though. Like, I don't want to lift stuff. You know, unless I'm at the gym, then it's on purpose. But yeah.
No, you said it perfectly. I'm not disappointed by anything. I'm more disappointed by like someone's morals or beliefs or their structure of life or how they.
Me.
I think that's more disappointing than finding out. Like, gasp, you're actually a cisgender It's like for me, so much more to like a deeper
personality, who you are, how you carry yourself, how you treat your community,
like, how you want to spend your time in life with, no matter how long or short that is. It's like we'll figure out the body stuff. How are we like spending time, and how can we communicate and intellectualize?
I will say, like, I do experience things like the bicycle, where it's like sometimes I am more interested in just seeking women, or sometimes I am feeling like just androgynous people, or I'm just feeling like super masculine people. Like I change my settings on a dating app a lot. You know what I mean? Like I'm like, I don't know, this is what I feel like today. Do y'all do that? Like if you're on a dating app, is it always just open to everyone?
I mean, I love women. I love women. I love queer women. I love femmes. I love masks. I love butches. I love studs. I love everybody. But again, my only hesitance is like when I think man is like, is he a straight man?
Yeah, I think
is he a white straight man?
to like,
That's something else.
Does he identify? Is he a card carrying Republican voter? Like, is he a conservative? Is he a? Those are my fears, because those are real. Socialized as a woman, regardless whether I identify as. My real fears come from like what's lurking beneath with men, but with women. It's always a good time. There's always things that,
Well, I mean, there's some Republican women, but
listen, they're out there. We see you.
They're out there. I think you can tell though which ones. I think you can tell which ones there. They have that
age
face.
Poorly. Their spirit, their soul leaves their eyes a little bit.
I think with men you can tell as well.
Like, a straight cis man is a whole different category.
I think gay people age like fine wine.
Absolutely.
Pansexuals got to be at the top of the chain. Because we're just glowing. We have no worries in life.
Yeah.
Gender, don't know her.
So do y'all want to hear the history?
Yeah. I'm so excited.
Yes. Okay, wait. Did y'all know that pansexuality was born from the BDSM and kink underground?
Yes.
Oh, yes.
You did?
A little bit, actually.
Oh my gosh.
So the term pansexual has been on quite a journey to get to what we know it is today, which is someone who's attracted to people regardless of their gender. The term pansexual is derived from the Greek prefix pan, meaning all or every, but pansexuality has a very political history, as I feel we know. Before we dive into its very political history, I want to give us some quick historical context to lay the groundwork.
Set the scene.
Yeah, let's set the scene. So today we have this whole buffet of sexual identities that most people at least recognize. We got gay, straight, bi, pan, ace, all the things and more. But the truth is these categories are actually very new in terms of human history. The way we think of sexuality now, this binary of heterosexual versus homosexual, really came out of the medicalization of sexuality in the 1800s, where heterosexuality was set as the healthy default, popping up in 1868, and homosexuality gets cast as its deviant opposite.
I love that word.
Deviant. Honestly, I kind of want to reclaim it.
I feel like such a troublemaker. I'm like, oh, we've been naughty.
Then in 1892, the term bisexual shows up to describe attraction to both. What's wild is that this moment basically shifted sexuality from being something that you do to something that you are. So this was actually a really huge moment in queer history. While it was very pathologizing, really bad, really negative, it also allowed for queer community and identity to form. And this is where early queer rights movements started to form. Here's the thing. That neat little binary erased centuries of more fluid understandings of sexuality. In ancient Greece and Rome, same-sex relationships weren't about identity. They were about social roles. And honestly, the time travel question, that's where I'd want to go back. Ancient Greece or Rome. I would go back for an orgy.
I'm black.
I was just going to say.
I'm not going anywhere.
That's so valid. Yeah.
I was going to say, I just don't feel like I would be welcome in any place.
No.
Unless
so
perhaps the ancient Aztecs or something. We're all brown,
Yeah.
I'd blend in.
Yeah. I'm just thinking all the drawings of Greek orgies and stuff like that. I'm like,
okay.
No,
actually,
right? Before all the STIs, I'm like, that sounds fun.
Me and my partner were talking about this last night, though. I was like, this is why I feel like pansexuality is a little bit kind of more superior. No, I don't mean superior, but I mean it's just a little bit cooler. No, maybe it has more history than people think. Being queer or having queer relationship, it was more of a social hierarchy, and there were plenty of noble men and women who had relations with many people, but because they were peasants or slaves, these weren't really regarded as anything.
Recorded in history.
And it wasn't really it was more seen as a carnal thing of just not to kind of dismiss the queer, but going to the bathroom. I think honestly it was viewed very differently in functionality. It was when people started marrying, it's who's got a dowry, who's the one receiving the dowry, who's all that kind of stuff. And if you couldn't provide that, there was no way of legitimizing your relationship, queer or not. But I do think more
religion, it was seen as a sin. Gay sex was bad, no good, but it was an act. You're a sinner, but you're not gay. It isn't a stamp on you. This isn't who you are.
I mean, that's also specific to Christianity and some of those Abrahamic religions, because there's a lot of spiritualities across South Asia and Africa that actually have trans non-binary people, for example, who are held at a high regard or seen as folks who, because they cross the gender binary, are seen as wise folks for the community, are folks that you would turn to. So I think Christianity screwed us up 1,000%.
And colonization spreading it everywhere because
colonization did it again.
But lots of cultures saw queerness
100%
as something that was actually to be cherished.
Yeah, I would love a movie that's an alternate reality where that wasn't happening. No colonization happened.
I just want to be cherished.
I just
Where's that future timeline? They got that in the Marvel universe.
100%. And you were saying, Tati, indigenous cultures had whole expansive systems around gender and sexuality long before colonization. So despite how hard they tried to squeeze us in these binary boxes, humanity's sexuality has never fit neatly into this. Not everybody.
Yeah, I do love bisexuality expanding. I think that's such a welcome thing. For sure. I don't think they need to amalgamate into two separate things. Just the same way that.
Just pan.
Just get in.
He's not into it.
We have cookies. We have pansexuality for a reason. We've got the hot pan waiting. Yeah. But the same way that maybe if I identify as being demisexual, that doesn't negate my pansexuality. That doesn't negate my whatever things, right? It just explains the way that I experience attraction. And I think that pansexuality and bisexuality are just explaining the way that you have attraction, and that we're both from fist bumping in solidarity.
We're here for mouthfeel.
Mouthfeel. I was trying so hard not to say mouthfeel. But we all love mouthfeel, okay, everybody? We all love mouthfeel. It just depends on how much more of the mouthfeel of the other one or the other. It's okay.
Okay.
Wait, like
Sure.
Are you more of a pansexual mouthfeel or a bisexual mouthfeel? That's up to you, but we're both mouthfeeling, okay?
Can I be honest with you?
Please do.
I'm so sick and tired of these dates that feel like job interviews. In 2025, we deserve a space where we can show up just as we are, ready to meet other people just as they are. So lucky for you, on Field, you have the breathing room to explore your desires. Think open relationships, cuddling, being a brat, and find communities that share your interests. Think D&D, tennis, zine making. Free from ads and completely independent, this is the place that draws curious, playful, and open-minded people, the ones that you have been looking for. So if you're feeling curious, there's a little preview of what dating on Field has been like for Emily.
Field is the only dating app where I don't have to hide parts of myself. As someone who's both kinky and polyamorous, most platforms make dating feel like a job. Shifting through profiles, decoding vague bios, embracing myself for the moment I have to explain my relationship structure, unsure of how it'll land. But here, transparency isn't just welcomed, it's expected. It's built into the culture. I can lay everything out in my bio, no pretense, no softening, no waiting for the right moment to disclose. And the best part, I know I won't just be tolerated for it, I'll be celebrated. There's something liberating about not having to ease someone into who you are, whether it's naming the dynamics that make you feel most at home or exploring desires that might be too much elsewhere. Field creates space for honesty from the start. It means no second guessing, no unnecessary filtering, just a place to show up as yourself and trust that you'll be met there.
So get out your phone, go to the App Store or Google Play and download Field. That is FEELD. Thank you, Field, for sponsoring this episode. So did you come across any early examples of pansexuality?
Let me take you to 1930s New York. So George Chauncey, in his book Gay New York, talks about these men who were like impossible to label. They weren't really homosexual, but also not heterosexual and definitely not bisexual either.
Why are you definitely not?
Instead, they were described as men who were interested in sexual activity defined not by the gender of their partner. Because bisexuality at the time in 1930s was like you're attracted to two genders. So it's like you don't
So
care.
if you were attracted to somebody who would have been non-binary, had they had the language.
I think this is kind of meaning what pansexuality means today with like the expanded version of bisexuality. Like it means that you're attracted to someone's like energy, their essence, to like who they are as a person, you know, rather than their gender.
Okay.
So like you're attracted to them regardless of their gender.
Yeah, their
basically.
higher power.
Yeah. Even without the term pansexuality being used, this shows the historical existence of people of the pansexual experience that is distinguished from bisexuality. Because I think some people are seeing it's like pansexuality used to mean what bisexuality means today. So it's like, what's the point of it existing?
Well,
and I think it's distinguishable.
I would
And
go
this shows
backwards though, because
Right. It's like, why bisexual?
why bisexual then, rather than why pansexual? Because pansexual came first then.
And let's all not forget that there were individuals within history and time who played with gender, who were women who wore only men's clothing and only courted, fought men and sword fought. Like we have these people within our own like sapphic history. Yeah.
Totally.
And so, but then again, with colonization, with Christianity, with all of these things, with the erasure of paganism and indigenous people, we start to lose kind of these in-between stories or these people who are living both sides, both
Well,
worlds.
they're seen as like deviant women, you know what I mean?
Yeah, it's seen as evil.
feminists,
Yeah,
or-
it's seen as evil ultimately.
I
and
will
it's
say,
erased.
I like the word paganism. It has pegging in it.
Hey, everybody, we all have a little paganism every once in a while.
We just love
Paganism.
Okay, so in the 1940s, we get the Kinsey scale, aka like the OG "How gay are you?" test. Have any of you ever taken the Kinsey test?
Yes.
I don't know.
I've taken the
I didn't know
BDSM
what that
test.
was. Yeah. Oh, I've taken that one
That's
too.
a good one.
Yep.
I took it in middle school when I found out about it.
Me too, and I can't remember my result. now.
Gay. Just something. It's gotta be
Big
gay.
ol'
I wish I had the
Baguette.
Kinsey test.
Yeah. It was just like
Or
an
maybe
autism
not.
test. I took it and it was flying colors.
flying colors.
Yeah.
Yeah. Flying colors.
I said, might I need a test for that.
First test I ever passed.
Top of my class, valedictorian. Okay.
Yeah, okay.
Valedictorian. For paganism.
Yes. Okay, so basically what the Kinsey scale does, for those of you who don't know, it measures your sexual orientation on a spectrum from 0 to 6 based on your mix of heterosexual and homosexual experiences. 0 being exclusively straight, 6 being exclusively gay, and then everything else is in between. Now, Kinsey never used the term pansexual.
Wait, it's a person?
Yeah.
I didn't know this.
Yeah.
He was also very gay.
Oh, was he gay?
I don't know.
Oh.
No,
Sorry to this man.
I don't know about that.
Maybe. He had to
He
be
was
a
like,
little.
but how gay are you? I'm not gay.
I think he might have been bisexual. Let me do a quick Google.
Oh, that would make sense.
This test was his grinder. Like he was
Yeah.
He was the originator of the spaghetti test, where it was like, how gay are you before we gotta bite the spaghetti?
Alfred Kinsey was bisexual.
Hello,
Okay.
this
Sense. Because
Salute.
Yeah, there's something fluid going on there. So he never used the term pansexual, but by showing sexuality as a sliding scale instead of a hard binary, he basically like cracked open the identities.
cracking them open.
He cracked it open.
Okay. When did we discover pansexuality as a term?
This is where it gets interesting and a little slutty. So according to some
The best things to do.
So, according to some researchers, the term pansexuality first caught fire in post-World War I BDSM and kink scenes. So this is like pretty early. I didn't honestly. This made me interested in like the BDSM history too. I'm like, now I want to go do that.
Which
it's like, how
war?
early were they getting into this? Yeah,
Which war?
World War II.
They were doing this in World War II?
Post World War II. So I feel like they were feeling probably really traumatized and they just like needed a lot to come. Like,
Oh my God. Actually, nothing scares me anymore. Show me your worst.
Literally.
Show me some shit.
Getting
Literally.
some PVC and latex now.
But honestly, so in these scenes, pansexuality meant I'm into everything.
Everything?
Like they were literally getting
Like everything?
They were getting
everything? You know how much everything is? What do you mean everything?
They were getting freaky with it.
Like
That's
they
a lot
like
of lubrication.
orgies, gangbang.
I think it meant like open
piss.
consent.
everything.
It literally-
everything?
I
yeah.
think it meant everything.
There's
Yeah.
nobody's into everything. Are they?
Think of everything. It means that
Right there. Cocky.
Yeah.
Girl on girl, guy on guy.
Everything.
Both on both. Everything.
Wow.
So
Back
basically-
shots.
All whole.
I don't know.
All the holes.
Can somebody be into everything?
No, I think it literally.
I know a few people who are.
Really?
Well, that's not it. You know who you are.
So basically, these queer soldiers were coming back from Europe and they were inspired by underground queer clubs and radical publications and brought these ideas home. And honestly,
They saw some shit.
I think also they were traumatized for sure. Like,
Probably desensitized.
and maybe just kinky.
Yeah.
Yeah, look into the root of fetishes. Let's go there. That's a really fun one.
it didn't stop there. The word penetrated pop culture.
What?
I was about to say the like penetrated pop culture.
It penetrated pop culture during the hippie free love era. So we're seeing it pop up a lot in like the media and everything. But here are a few examples. In The Village Voice in 1967, it asked, "What's all this talk about her new pansexuality?" And then in the LA Free Press in 1969, it read, "Group sex and pansexuality increase every week."
That's the dream.
Exciting. Yeah, that's exciting.
Yeah.
And then costume and performer Alexis DeLego remembers those early 70s pansexual circles as, quote, "not about being gay or straight. What mattered was the expression of ourselves, our souls, and our clothes."
Super kinky.
And it feels honestly very akin to the kind of hippie movement and kind of like
Free love.
Free love, right?
Yes.
Is that people were like experimenting with drugs, experimenting with their brains, their perceptions,
Their
you know,
sex.
expanding in every sort of way. So I think also gender and sexuality were one of those things where it was like, I'm a lady who wears jeans, get out of here. Like that was also a big concept of the time. Do you know what I mean? Like, that was also a concept of like, she's a hard hitting. She takes shots with the best of them. I don't know why she's always this kind of lady, but that's all for mother. But I think that also like again with social going back, it's not just on a gender of like, nah, I think I want to like have sex with a lady or a man. I think people were also
like, why not experience something?
I want to. Yeah, it's like this person who is a hard shooter, fast talker, whatever. That wears jeans. They wear boots and jeans. Wow, denim. No, I think that also ties into a kind of a different way that people were expanding at the time. That was just like, I don't really care. It's more of like our spirits, our third eyes,
our higher power.
Our higher power.
I think one thing that's important to note is this term was really being born in the streets. It's evolving like slang language evolves. You know what I mean? There was, at this point, there's no like formal definition of pansexuality. Like it is very much just what people are saying amongst each other. And things can evolve in that way, like person to person. Like this is how language like naturally happens.
But the definition of pansexuality now, I feel like is very different from back then.
Yeah. Like I said, slang language was happening, but by 1973, Ramparts magazine showed pansexuality starting to look a lot like it does today. They did a piece on it and it felt very boldly political. Again, there's still no formal definition happening at this point, but like this is an article that I felt was really important because it really encapsulates what I feel the vibe of pansexuality is today. They described it as a, quote, none of the above sexual identity and anything that feels good goes vibe. Attraction wasn't about gender, but people, their auras, vibrancies, minds, and good looks. The piece asked, the piece asked, if you love him or her or both, what difference does it make? And if you give birth to a baby, then fall in love with another woman, why can't you go live with her and your baby?
Honestly, the hard-hitting questions.
For 73, for sure.
If you want to wear jeans.
You want to be a sharpshooter? You want to have a baby and wear jeans?
You can do it. Pansexuality was not just about desire. It was a radical challenge to how love, sex, and family should look. And these are just a few snapshots. There was like pages on pages of examples of like news articles that was mentioning pansexuality. So it was really like, I think you can imagine that it was a very like buzzy word.
Those pansexuals?
The media was, they were eating it up.
Then why does bisexuality get conflated with pansexuality?
In particular, right now, we want everything in convenience and to be kind of done now and be done quickly or in short form.
Like fast food.
Yeah. And so I think sometimes we amalgamate these words, which in some situations, like, again, it's great to just say queer. And to just walk in a room and not have to say like, I'm a demisexual, trans, non-binary. It's like, I want to just say hello and have a conversation with you. And then we can get into all of that. I do also think that language is such a beautiful thing and it's been stolen from so many different people. And to reclaim that, to re-educate ourselves on that is also really important. And so having those differences to say like, I'm a proud lesbian, I'm a proud bisexual, I'm a proud pansexual. Those are really great because we're able to all be here quite frankly, without people kind of prosecuting us for wanting those two things. And hopefully we're blending a little bit more within lesbian and gay spaces.
I mean, like I said, like the identity labels are what allowed us to find community as well. Like while it felt very made up by horrible, shitty people at first, it's like it also allows us to find each other. And I think like the special thing about pansexuality is like it kind of feels like one of the only labels that wasn't made up for us. Like it feels like a label that was like made up by the community, like originating in that, which I think is really dope.
The kinky community.
And like the trans and gender nonconforming community. But these two terms used to actually have a lot less in common than they do today when society subscribed more harshly to the gender binary. But allow me to explain with another little history lesson. In the 90s, queer theory took off and multiple people started to try and formally define pansexuality, finally.
But before it was like everything
it was like whatever you want.
It was casual Friday at the pansexual office.
Before then, it was just a term that was mainly being used in queer and BDSM kick scenes, as we were saying. And a lot of the definitions varied, but they sum up to be a person who has the potential to connect sexually and emotionally with anyone, regardless of anatomy anatomy. It's a sexuality that pushes past gender and sexual binaries, embracing partners across and beyond the gender spectrum. One thing that's cool and fun to note is that the trans and gender nonconformity community was said to be at the forefront of shaping these definitions. And around this time, the term non-binary was also beginning to emerge in queer zine culture. At the same time, bisexuality was also gaining a lot of visibility, but we didn't yet have wide awareness of the concept of more than two genders, with non-binary identities not really like hitting mainstream consciousness until like the 2010s. Back then, bi literally meant two, so pansexuals stepped in to signal attraction beyond
I feel
two
like
genders.
bisexual people were like you and you, and then pans were like and more, and then
Yeah, because if someone like me comes into the sphere and I'm not
Yeah.
a woman and I'm not necessarily a man, but I'm not also like heavily on one or the other, where do I go? Who do I belong to?
But then now bisexuals are like, wait, more? We can, that too. And now it's like, it's all
I think it's a beautiful thing. I don't think anyone was inherently like, gasp, only my manliest man and my womanliest woman. But I think that with Pan also being kind of more tied or geared to politics, I think people started breaking down their own binaries of what a man and a woman was based on who they're occupying space with also.
Today we know bisexuality is like being attracted to multiple genders, but like honestly, I think the bisexual is the most attracted to the androgynous hottie. In my opinion, like I think bisexuals are
bofa.
Yeah, it's like it's like them both mixed together. I'm like, that's the ideal scenario for me.
Best of all worlds.
However, in the 2010s, the pansexual pride flag also emerges on the internet. Do y'all know what the colors represent?
I do. It's, what is it? Cyan, pink, and
Yellow.
And yellow. And it's supposed to be like the femininity, the masculinity, and the non-binary, androgynous. Yeah.
You got it.
The prettier flag.
Yeah, it's so cute. I like it.
It is.
Now the understanding is bisexual is attraction to multiple genders, pansexual attraction to people regardless of gender. However, many people are still identifying with pansexuality as a way to signal attraction to people who don't fit into the gender binary. I mean, given its history, I think pansexuality is very akin to queerness in that it challenges existing paradigms and feels very like political.
I agree. Yeah, I think part of why I really was like, I'm pan, I'm identifying with pan was because I did want to signal to the gender expansive community that like I am in it to win it. To like, like my attraction, is not at all impacted by what your gender identity is. And at the time when I was, figuring out where I identified, bisexuality felt like it could potentially draw a line of like, like trans and non-binary people were included in that, but that there was maybe an aspect of like, I am attracted to folks that like look closer to the binary no matter what it is their actual identity is.
Yeah, it's the same thing with bisexuality. It's the same thing with being a lesbian. It's like everyone's going to do it a little differently.
And I feel like all of these identifiers are kind of moving away from all of these other hard, rigid things that we're all kind of discovering is it really is just colonialization. It really is just good old Christianity's grip still explaining the way that we should kind of approach.
Finish him.
How we should show up and how others should show up for us. And I think we're kind of dismantling all our relationships and the way that we build our friendships and our communities. I think that pansexuality just might be maybe one of the flag flyers at the beginning of the parade. You know what I mean?
Like, I totally changed my mind about pansexuality, like in doing this research, and I hope like if anyone else was unsure about it, like have changed their mind too after hearing about it.
I hope we've all changed our mind.
I mean, I still feel like I'm bisexual in some ways. Like I don't feel the like the new definition of it where it's like you're just attracted to someone's essence. It's like I don't feel like I fully embody that. You know what I mean? Like if I'm getting real technical, but I think like I could see it as being like an umbrella term as well, the way you're saying. Like I feel a little pan. Like, I feel a little bi and I feel a little pan. Like it's a little slash moment.
I think the same way that people sometimes will say, I'm bi, but I'm more sapphic leaning, right?
Yeah,
or
I know
it
had mixed feelings, but I loved when you identified as I'm a bisexual lesbian.
Oh my God.
People hated that. People hated
honestly,
that.
the lesbians are really mad at us right now. Be careful.
Listen, lesbians, gather around, okay? It's not right that gay men have left you behind. Pansexuals and bisexuals are not going to do that. We need to all link hands in this time.
Exactly.
Because you know what?
No queer
we
left
all suffer from the
behind.
same... they don't want mouthfeel. We all want mouthfeel. Remember, lesbians? We all love mouthfeel.
Lesbians are upset right now because
and I think
of the idea that sexuality is fluid, because they're like,
Right.
my identity as a lesbian is valid. It's going to
And
stay
it
the
means
same.
that my sexuality is not fluid.
It's not going to change. Don't say sexuality is fluid because mine's not fluid.
No, it's
Sexuality
a more
is
more.
fluid, but yours doesn't have to
No.
be. Like,
for some people.
yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
Like lesbians are like believe a lesbian when they say they're a lesbian,
Period.
1,000%.
Yes.
But yeah, I think it's okay for
Yeah.
other people's sexuality to be fluid.
Yeah.
I think it sucks when like big artists who like claimed lesbianism so strongly, like then go on to be like, oh, but you know, like I hold space for you when your sexuality.
Oh, not the Betty
is-
Who.
How did you feel about that? No, but people are very angry at her. And like the statement that she said, I was like, is it that bad? Like, I think it's bad where she brought up a specific person.
I think it's horrible that she brought up a specific person
Yeah.
because it is a little
It's
targeted in that
invalidating.
sense.
It feels
Yeah.
invalidating.
And
Yeah.
it is also saying, like, I think the appropriate response is, I thought I was lesbian. I'm not. I actually identify as this, or my sexuality is fluid, point blank, period.
Yeah.
But to say, I think it feeds into the idea that like lesbians are waiting to change their mind. Like they're waiting for the
Yeah.
right person.
Yeah.
It's the same thing
Yeah,
with
yeah,
being
yeah.
bi.
It was just
of, like,
irresponsible
That's
the way she
where
responded.
the issue
Yeah.
is
Yeah.
like, oh, then that means that all lesbians like could like a guy, you know, which is not true.
I think that's where the hesitation comes from, is that I think for a long time, and maybe we're still getting this foot out of this box of that bisexuals or pansexuals or anybody who dates more than one gender is somehow needing to be proven or to come to pick a side, right? I know that from my experience, I've always been, you know, if I didn't have the word for pan, I was bi. And
Same.
I grew up in a very small town where it was a lot of closeted lesbians and gay men, and I hung out with the gay men, but the lesbians would not have me because they just thought that I was going to leave them and to just be straight and to not actually be gay and to kind of cause turmoil and trauma. But that also causes then turmoil and trauma to the bisexual person who's like, this is who I am, and like I can't change this. I think that hesitation is coming also from a place of like lesbians wanting to protect something that is precious, that's often disregarded, not considered. We've become so separated and scarce that I think that when we realize how much similarities we actually carry and how we're all kind of fighting the same struggle, regardless of whether my struggles are going to be the same as their struggles, ultimately they're affected by the same thing. And so that should affect me. This rigidness that I think people have is this almost reluctantness to like, I don't want to let it go.
You
It's
can't
like,
let go.
you're
Yeah.
not letting it
Don't
grow.
give
You're
them
letting it
anything.
grow. Just like
Yeah.
a beautiful plant. You can't keep it in the same pot.
Yeah.
It needs to kind of grow and expand.
That's
And our
right.
roots are kind of getting severed off.
Yeah, I feel that with labels a little bit. I think labels are so important, and it, to your point, it helps us find community. But yeah, sometimes it's like you put in so much work to like find your label and identifying with that label that when things change, it like you feel like you're grieving that, and you have to like it's such a big deal to like be like, oh no, I'm actually pansexual. I'm actually bisexual. I wish we lived in a world where it was so easy to move between labels.
Pansexuals and bisexuals aren't invalidating lesbians. And I think that there are outside forces trying to have us invalidate each other on the inside.
For sure.
I think the challenge is like for bisexual and pan people, like everything does feel so fluid, and you're like, ooh, so good over here, like drink the Kool-Aid kind of vibes. And then I also think like lesbian and gay people are like, come drink this Kool-Aid. I think maybe that's where the tension and invalidation comes from. Who knows? It's like, can we just accept each other as we are, not invalidate anyone's identities, and just kiss?
Yeah.
The kissing part
I
is
think
the
it would
most
solve
important.
so many things. So maybe we should just like start with kissing
Now
and
kiss.
then get into the introduction.
The anger and the tension is happening so much politically everywhere.
Yes.
And I really hate to see anger and tension happening within the community too.
Yeah.
It's like, I think we can say our points without being like super mean
And
to
no
each
one
other.
is obligated to date or be around people that they don't vibe or agree with.
It doesn't have to be a personal attack on you either.
No. Lesbians, less arguing, more kissing.
Yeah.
There's so many of us to go around.
But honestly, the bisexuals get really angry too. It's like, it's really funny. Like we represent like all identities on this page, you know, like we will have lesbians come on and share we try to.
Allegedly.
Yeah. Like we'll have lesbians come on, share their identity. And it's like, at one point, like we'll create a post like in favor of like a bisexual experience, talking about biphobia. And then we'll also like say a post about lesbians. And it's like, sometimes the bisexuals are going to get really angry at us because we like made a post about lesbophobia or something. And it's like, bro,
Step outside of yourself for a second.
everyone is doing it though. That's what I mean. It's like there's problems on both sides. It's like everyone is looking too much just at themselves. Beyond
World
this,
peace.
I want to, yeah.
World peace and orgasms.
Guys, is that what's happening? Are we not kissing and coming enough? What's happening? Huh?
I have a heavy flow, and it's actually super annoying when I go to bed with a tampon in or a Diva cup, and I wake up to a bloody mess because it's leaked everywhere. Now, period underwear like Isle has actually been such a huge game changer for me because now I can get a restful sleep and wake up without any mess.
Today's episode is brought to you by Isle, the original period underwear company. Proudly queer-owned, Isle has been leading the way in sustainable period care since 1993, redefining what period products can do for you and the planet for nearly 3 decades.
Let's talk about their Boost Boxer. Now, this is a period underwear like you've never experienced before. The Boost Boxer is a reliable, comfortable, and inclusive style option for everybody. Yes, everybody. Whether you're on the go, working from home, or looking for overnight protection that you can count on, this boxer brief is designed to move with you.
So what makes it so special, you might ask? First, it's made with sustainable fabrics that are breathable and leak-proof, so you stay comfortable and dry all day long. It's made for the heaviest of flows. The leak-proof gusset is sewn from the front of the waistband all the way to the back, while the removable boost liner lets you customize your absorbency level, giving you extra protection when you need it most. And unlike some other reusable period products, the Boost Boxer is PFAS-free and designed to keep you feeling fresh with no leaks.
And as if the underwear wasn't good enough, another reason why we love Isle so much is because they are a certified B Corp. That means that they're held to some of the highest standards for social and environmental responsibility. It's period care that you can feel good about, literally and figuratively.
So why settle for less when you can have it all? Inclusive styles, comfort, sustainability, and performance. Head to periodisle.com and use code QueerCollective for 15% off. Isle, sustainable period products for everybody.
Thank you, Isle, for sponsoring this episode.
I'm wondering though, for y'all, what beyond this topic, what do we think are some pan-specific experiences and challenges?
I don't know if
Be mistaken for bi.
I hate that. I don't know if it's like pan specific or maybe just queer in general, but it took me a really long time to realize I was like somewhere under the queer umbrella because I assumed we all thought women were sexy. And so I was like, I'm straight, but I obviously
women are
just
just
attracted to
Obviously,
everything.
women are superior.
Yeah, it really wasn't until I was like in passing, like talking to one of my friends, I was like, yeah, like my current girl crush, and like he. And she's like, oh, well, like I didn't know you were, and I was like, oh, what do you mean? Like, I'm not, I'm straight. But
we all have girl crushes.
Yeah,
that we fantasize about.
I mean, that
Didn't think
was
about
happening in like the teen Vogues and everything. It's like, this is the girl crush of the month. So like it kind of feeds into it. You're like, yeah, no, this is normal.
You're like, I knew it.
This is acceptable.
Yeah, we're all pan, right? And and then
Some people are just like
had to sit me down.
super duper pan, and I.
So you feel like it added to like confusion, maybe?
Oh my gosh,
like
for
being attracted to everyone
so
makes you a little
long.
confused.
I didn't have like my first queer relationship until like into my 20s.
Yeah.
Because it took a while to realize that the comp head it'll get
comp
heavy.
head.
The comp head.
Yeah.
It gets everyone.
100%. Do you have anything to
Yeah,
share?
I felt like kind of a floater. Like I guess again, I mean, my particular experience, I grew up in a very small town, very small country town, and the people
Wait,
who
where
I
in
knew,
the country were you
I
from?
grew up in Newcastle, in southern Ontario.
Yeah.
But yeah, the few people that I knew again were some lesbian and gay identifying people, and so.
Yeah.
I kind of was disregarded as like, you don't know what you want and you're confused, right? The same old bisexual kind of trauma. But then coming into my adulthood and still being like, yep, no, I'm still pansexual. Like, absolutely, there's no whatever. I felt like I was still trying to like prove myself in different communities to different people. I'm like, no, I promise. And if you look at this experience here, and if you check out this history, it's like I don't feel like we need to keep insisting that from people, regardless bi or not, of like, well, are you actually trans? Are you actually a real hardcore lesbian?
It's like we're interrogating everyone.
I think
people are even like, Carbon's not a real lesbian. I'm like, bro, what the fuck?
I promise Carbon's got enough experience under their belt to
it's
prove.
Like, good Lord.
And you're not a part of it, and that's why you're mad. And you can keep that one in, bro.
That's good.
I think that it is really, unfortunately, it's a sign of the times.
Yeah.
We are in highly politicized, highly volatile times. And in some way, shape, form, or another, you're going to be affected positively, negatively. People are numbing out. People are lashing out. We have to, as queer people, we really, really have to resist doing that within our own communities. And we still have a lot of people who are also being left out. We have a lot of trans men who are not being represented or feel that they have community either with gay men. And so as a result, we're all going to blend together because we've all been on this journey of choice or force, you know?
And I think the thing is like, women are so fantastic at bringing people together. Like, I think it is like one of the most beautiful
LGBTQ.
Like,
to us, let's not get it twisted.
There we go.
Like,
Let's not get it twisted.
The thing is, like, think about like the matriarch of your family. Like, that is the person who oftentimes like brings everyone together for meals. It's like, this is just such like a wonderful quality. You know what I'm saying? To bring people together and do that kind of thing. And if you look at the gay community, like, it doesn't hit the same that the way the lesbian community hits. And I think that's why everyone really grieves when they can't be part of it.
And I think why it's also viewed as so precious and being highly protected and maybe defended right now, because I think there are so many people coming for women's rights and coming for women of all different shapes, forms, sizes, trans women especially. And that's where I think we're getting a little lost in the sauce, is that like, nobody's coming to replace. It's that we need to like fortify and like, ooh, a little bisexual moment here. I'm so thirsty. I love so many drinks.
In front of it.
Right? Like, nobody's negating this beautiful tall glass, but these two also have to exist. And like just pretending that they don't exist or aren't a part of the community is kind of what's getting us in this position of like
wow, so
us versus them in this tiny thing where they already are coming after us. So pansexuality is not here to replace. Bisexuality is still beautiful. I will still go to bi spaces. Some of my best friends are bi.
How many bisexuals do you know?
I count on one Janelle Monáe and
No, but I feel like honestly, bi and pan spaces are really important, and I think coming together as like one community together is really great. I'm curious though. You said in the beginning of this discussion that pansexuality has been a huge part of your gender journey. Do you want to talk about that?
The way that I experience gender, the way that I walk through the world, that dating me is going to affect somebody else's identity or orientation or way they view things. And so for myself, I just feel like at such a kind of intersection or a crossroad, being trans, being non-binary, being pan, I really, really don't view physicality. I really don't. And there are conversations with, trans people about when you're going to X, Y, Z. Are you going to get this procedure? Are you going to get that procedure? And I think so much of the freedom of my gender expression also comes in play by the freedom to know that I don't have to be permanent or choose with who ultimately my life partner is, or who that I'm spending my life, or how I'm spending my life. And so I think that those two things kind of like ebb and flow off of each other. I don't think that one could exist without the other.
I think if you touched base with me in like 3 years, I'll probably be like pansexual. I think it just like I'm
gotta let him sit on it.
I am like
that's how we get him.
I'm kind of like a simmerer. Like the thing is, I remember having a conversation maybe like 4 years ago. I was still identifying as a lesbian at the time, but I was like questioning my gender already. And I was talking to them, and they were like, "The way you're describing your gender to me right now," because both of them are non-binary, the people I was talking to, and they're like, "The way you're describing your gender right now sounds like me 2 years ago." You know what I mean? So it just like feels like this like constant evolution of like, and then now I'm non-binary. You know what I'm saying? And it's like, you were right.
Yeah.
So that's the thing, is like my interest is peaked.
Yeah. And I just wish we embrace that energy of just like,
because again,
let
everyone
things
think
continue
back
to
to themselves
evolve.
5-10 years ago when they first entered the queer community, when they first came out. That you versus this you is not
So
just
different.
of like, well, I'm an adult now. It's
I
like
think
there
that's
is a
the
part of you that
fluidness.
went through a journey and changed. And I
Yeah.
think that's a beautiful thing to go through a journey and change. Just like getting wrinkles and sunspots and whatever, those are just like little added flecks that still make you,
Yeah.
right? It doesn't change your ethics and your morals. I think that's the most important thing is that when those things start to ebb and flow, also with other things, it's like, then that's like a reimagining. And I think that it's not a reimagining, it's an additional thing, being pan or being expanding your idea on womanhood, bisexuality, lesbianism, right? See you in 5 years.
Yeah. On that note, do we think most pansexuals are non-binary?
I feel like I have yet to meet a pansexual who identifies as cis, but I don't think that's impossible. But I do think part of pansexuality is, like you were saying, is that like it's supposed to be expansive. It's supposed to continue to evolve. It's supposed to like not be stagnant. So I feel like having an expansive understanding of your own gender identity kind of is in line with pansexuality.
Someone could be non-binary and not identify as trans, and someone could be trans and not identify as non-binary, or both.
Yeah. The short answer is yes, I researched this. So according
Damn, failed another test.
So, according to a 2022 U.S. National LGBT Health Survey, 1 in 3 pansexuals also identified as non-binary or gender non-conforming. And according to a 2023 Trevor Project Youth Survey, about 29% of pansexual youth identify as non-binary, compared to about 16% of bisexual youth. So it's like definitely more of the non-binary people are heading over to the pansexual side.
It just makes sense.
Yeah.
I feel like it's a
Natural
direct
progression, yeah.
So many of people who are occupying the spaces, their bodies are politicized.
Yeah.
So the way that you love also becomes politicized. Not that you're like this conversation of political lesbians, people who are lesbians for politics. I don't think that that's kind of what we're arguing that pansexuals actually are. But I would like to hope, I'd like to think that people who are pan or more leaning to that have a way of decolonizing across several different spectrums. And so how could they not also decolonize the way that they think about gender?
Do you think pansexuality is like an inherently political identity the way that queer is? You know how some people are like, you're gay, but you're not queer if you don't embody the politics?
I think it would be kind of the same conversation of, can you be in love or be with somebody who is someone who's highly politicized, a person of color, a trans person, and not want to fight for them and not be affected by other people who look like them and you have no connection to. And I would hope that most people who are pan are not just flying by the seat of their pants in the world, that maybe they also are looking at the rest of the world as a thing that, to be deconstructed and to be reimagined.
I would hope. I would definitely hope. I think like my pansexual is political.
Yeah.
But as you said, like a lot of our bodies and identities are politicized for us. But I think what we're also seeing is that like it's not actually true for a lot of people. There are a lot of people who date trans and non-binary people and like actually don't care to fight for their rights.
No.
And there's a lot of people who
That's
fall
crazy.
Yeah, I mean Laverne Cox
happens.
talked about it. But let's not get into that one. But like, and I mean, there's like the trans maxing and like the deep fascist communities, but like whatever. But like, yeah, there are lots of 2S LGBTQ people who consider themselves apolitical, who are, I like women, but I'm not like culturally gay or anything like that. Like,
It always feels very like pick me.
It feels
you know
very
what I mean? But, like
pick me.
like Republicans, please. Pick
It's
me.
kind of also, unfortunately,
Yeah.
a terrifying sign of the success of the other side.
It's
Of
it's the like I'm only
the
gonna
least
be-
important thing about
I
me
need to
is
keep
being
myself
queer or
safe.
gay. I think it's actually one of the most important things, and arguably one of the things that someone would harm you for, regardless of about who you are and how you operate. Doesn't matter how lovely a person you are, because those people will turn on you, and they are coming for people. They're coming for all of us, and so to kind of be any sort of label of queer and to not be political, I think is just highly irresponsible given the times.
Yeah, you can't identify as queer if you're not
can't.
political.
Oh, that's like I think
Yeah.
that's a consensus.
That one is
Yeah.
for sure.
You know?
But
Those people who are in the know, the smart people know this.
yeah,
But some of you other people are afraid to say free Palestine. I don't know.
exactly. But there's a
Protect
lot
the dolls
of,
until you realize that means you have to care about women's rights
Yes.
also.
Yes.
So now you have to speak differently to different people in different bar spaces when they're not benefiting you. You have to invite people into those spaces, and
have
they
to,
have to
like,
feel
live those
safe
values.
and welcome to go to those spaces. And once that starts to change, the other side doesn't have this ammunition that, look, they're all separate. And I think that is a real thing. And I think that is a scary thing that maybe people don't want to look at or address, but it's ongoing, it's happening, and we can still make light of it and we can still come together. It doesn't have to be this big, heavy thing. We don't have to alienate each other, you know?
Yeah.
And we can also feel uncomfortable sometimes, like not uncomfortable in the sense that like you're in spaces that you're being harmed in, but like we can be in community, we can be called out, we can be asked to be called in, we can be in spaces and know that we are not the main priority in that space as well. Like I think there are so many amazing lesbian events popping up in this city. I have seen some comments of folks of like, oh, well, like I'm bisexual, can I still come? Or like I'm pansexual, and like, okay, yes, obviously you can come to this space. You identify with the sapphic experience, but it just might mean that like your experience is not the most important experience in this space. And it's okay to feel uncomfortable sometimes. It's okay to not be the most important person, and it's okay to like be like, oh, I actually need to uplift a different community right now.
That is so key, because I feel like that's where all of this discourse happens. That's where people get mad. It's like if you mention
who's
somebody
having the most marginalized experience.
It's the oppression Olympics. It's the oppression Olympics.
Yeah.
Exactly. It's like if you talk about this subject and it's like, then they make it about themselves.
Yeah, it's like and you're invalidating mine, but mine's the worst.
I'm not talking about you.
But look at this issue, and I'm like, yeah, I'm with
Diva,
you,
please.
and also I'm with them, and also I'm with them. Like when as a lesbian, I'm with you lesbians, but I'm also with the bisexuals, and I'm with the pansexuals.
That's the queer. That's the queer though.
That's the queer.
Yeah, sharing community with people you're not. That doesn't mean sharing like space with only like-minded people. And in fact, people bringing more issues to the table should be the signifier that, standing back, there are little fires happening everywhere. Who's causing the fires? How can we put out the fires, right? And rather than saying, well, mine's burning on sheet metal, and well, mine's burning on fig leaves. It's like, oh, I know that one is going to burn faster than the other.
And I'm wearing jeans.
And I'm wearing jeans and boots, and I'm a sharpshooter. Get me on a hose. But we need to consider, yes, the one that's burning on this is going to burn quicker than the other. We need to prioritize, but we don't need to negate or minimize other people's experiences. And I don't want certain communities to feel negated by other communities stepping into their power or into knowledge or being known or seen by especially our other queer community members.
They can all matter at the same time.
Yeah, we can have issues and also still have a good time while so we solve them.
And kiss.
And kiss.
That is a good place to end it. But before we wrap it up, where can people find you?
You can find me within the queer nightlife scene, causing chaos. You can follow me online at @Ann__alien. And if you hate that persona, follow at Poltergeist666.
What if I
You
hate
can
you
find
both?
me online.
If you hate me both, parasocially find me in the streets and we'll have a discussion on lesbianism, trans identity, and pansexuals being better than all of them.
Cancel me, I dare you.
Yeah, try me. I staple myself for a living. Try me. Find me in the streets. I dare you.
Stapling.
You too.
Employee of the month at Staples.
Nothing can hurt you.
Only me.
Dude, it's really scary in there.
I am also heavy in the queer nightlife scene, but not having quite as much fun as Ann Alien. But you can find me at TATY, TATY.WAB. And if you see me at your local sapphic party, please say hi and give me a kiss. Ask first.
Yeah.
That's everything that we have for you today. And we spoke a lot about lesbians. So if you want to dive deeper into lesbian gender nonconformity, we have an episode on it called The Great Lesbian Divide, Butch versus Femme. Make sure to like and subscribe. And if you're listening on your favorite podcast app, make sure to leave us a 5-star review because it really does help the podcast out. That's everything that we have. And until next time, peace.